It's so beautiful, but it's so haunted.
Hi, we're Scott and Cindy.
Come be a ghost tourist with us.
And we'll tell you if the places are spooky or dooky.
Here we are.
Wait. Ghost tourist!
Here we are at the Whittier Mansion.
Okay.
And it is a 30-room mansion, so it's huge, but it's all disheveled.
How many bathrooms?
Doesn't say. It is huge. It's massive.
Hey, that's what you said last night.
So it was built by a man named William Franklin Whittier.
That makes sense.
And he actually built it for his wife, who died before they could move in a carriage accident. And so she was never able to live in it. And have you noticed, though, there's like a theme with like all these mansions? They always build them for their wives, and then the wives die and can't live in it. So
That's why I don't build you a house.
That's very suspicious. Anyway, he lived in the house by himself with his son Billy, and supposedly he's a ne'er-do-well.
Oh,
A ne'er-do-well.
yes, a ruffian.
A
hooligan.
A hooligan who liked to party and drink. And he was lazy and never worked.
Doesn't.
Never worked. Never did anything. He eventually died in the mansion. And some people say that, you know, he's one of the people that haunts the house.
So there's a ne'er-do-well ghost.
The basement where that's where the liquor was kept, and so they say that he, you know, haunts the basement and he's looking for his last drop of liquor.
Liquor? I don't even know her.
And then the Third Reich, is that how you say that?
Yeah, Third Reich.
The Nazi people bought it, and it was supposedly where a whole bunch of German spies lived, and now it is owned by a Chinese couple who don't actually live in it. And so it's been kind of in disrepair since it was sold to them, according to David.
So this guy David lives in the neighborhood. I walking by said, "Oh, are you here to see the haunted house?"
Well, David told us that when we walk by sometimes the doorbell will ring, and so like, let's walk. Let's walk to see if the doorbell rings. According to David, doorbell. Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong. There it is. Ding dong.
Did you hear doorbell?
I can't get the door. No, I was pressing the doorbell. But anyway, so there's Billy, the ghost in the basement, who's looking for liquor.
Hello, I need liquor!
There's supposedly a whole bunch of German spies that also, hang around. They also think that William Whittier haunts it, like he just kind of
Looking for his wife.
you know, but she died. They also say that there's a woman that sits in a rocker, the ghost of an old lady sitting in a chair, and a bald butler.
Very well, son.
But that's kind of like hearsay.
As opposed to the other ones where there's a lot of evidence.
Exactly.
More than a bald butler, I hope we look in the window and see a bald butt.
I hope it's a bald butt, because who wants a hairy butt?
No.
Why do you do that?
Because I'm being contemplative.
Apparently the ghost rides a scooter. Oh, hold on, Cindy. I heard a demon ask me to go in and burn down the house. Should I?
Let's go walk one more time. We're walking. Scott? No. This private property, Scott Peterson.
So all in all, on the spooky scale, we give the Whittier Mansion.
I would say 4 out of 5.
Holy
It's spooky, because it's really creepy looking. It's all dilapidated and it looks creepy.
And remember when we went up on the porch? Oh no, that's right. You were too scared to go in.
I respect the private property of other people. And we had neighbors that are willing to speak to us about this spooky
That was very good.
house. And so I would say that was a good find. So here we are, Scott Peterson. Where are we?
We're at the Chambers Mansion. Deadly, evil, awful, San Francisco's worst hellhole in the world.
Okay, so tell me about this place.
Well, the guy owned it. He was very rich. And when he died, he left it to his 2 nieces, who we believe were named Isabella and Eliana. And they did not get along, as all nieces don't. And so one day somebody came in and found one of the nieces had been cut in half. So now he had
Like a
three
magic
nieces.
act.
Yes. And now her ghost, or maybe half of her ghost, haunts these premises for eternity.
She holds a
Handkerchief?
handkerchief, in her hand so that you can prove that it was, how the magicians do, where they cut
I
in
wasn't
half,
following you.
Where they
Yeah,
get
oh,
cut
so you
in
know
half,
that she's still alive?
She's still alive, and that she's real.
I thought you were imitating my grandma.
No. Let's see if there's any blinking lights from the upstairs window, because that is what it said happens. Blinking lights from the upstairs window. Blink for me. There's more upstairs windows. There, blinking lights. Nothing.
So on the spooky scale, we give the Chambers Mansion 1 ghost, because it's just bushes. Hello.
One of the reasons why I only give it a 1 is because there's not a lot of information about it. Like, I'm not sure it's really haunted.
Yeah, and in the window up above, I only saw half a niece. So that doesn't prove anything. We're standing in front of the Atherton House. George Atherton is the ghost who supposedly lives here. He was a rich, lazy son of a gun, and he was under the thumb of both his wife Gertrude and his mother, who both treated him horribly. He hated it here.
Was his mother's name Gertrude too?
I wish. And so he fled to Chile. He said, I'm out of here. He fled to Chile, and before they could reach Chile, he died of kidney failure on the boat.
Oh.
So he was too rich for them to throw him overboard. So they stuck him in a barrel of rum to keep him
Quiet?
hydrated until they got him
so
home.
that he doesn't smell?
So I would think. So then they brought him back here, and now he's supposedly still here in the house, banging doors and windows, cold spots, knocking, and
So he's mad.
Yes, the mom moved out; she couldn't take it, and the wife stayed for a while, but eventually she moved out, and everybody that kept moving in after that had issues. They heard the knocking. They felt his presence. And
Telling you, and he's not a happy person.
No, he hates being here. What did you say?
It's so beautiful, but it's so haunted.
Why do you say that? Do you get a wiggle?
Yes.
What kind of wiggle?
Like more than the I don't know. It's just like there's something about it. I can't tell you what it is that makes me know. I don't know what makes me know. But like the Whittier Mansion was haunted, but it didn't feel scary. This one kind of feels scary haunted.
Thing in the window. Is it someone who lives there? Or a ghost? Because we didn't see anything when we were filming it, only when we reviewed the video later.
In 1923, there was one lady, Carrie Rousseau, who seemed to make peace with the ghost. At least she didn't have a problem with him. But she also only lived in the ballroom with her 50 cats. So she's not a good person to opt for. But eventually they turned it into apartment buildings, which is what it is now. But people still say they hear the knockings and the ghostly chills and feel tentacles.
Can you imagine living here though as an apartment dweller? Like, look at that. It's got eyes. It's a friendly ghost. I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna walk up this one because it's apartments.
Apparently, whether there's a gate or not makes a big difference to whether she will intrude on someone's private property.
We can pretend like we are going to rent an apartment at this place, even though we're not. Oh, look at that. People live here.
You want to try and jimmy a window or something? See if you
No.
can flip it?
Just wanna... Somebody got their order of wine.
Did you hear knocking or feel this cold spot on your
It's
warm spot?
not, no cold spots. Did you want to go in?
Oh, that's against the law.
On the spooky scale, I would say I would rate it spooky. Like, it's spooky.
So like 3, and you can't go in.
It's worth a gander.